At a work holiday party, my boss introduced me to a client using my coworker's name and then laughed it off. There is a specific kind of humiliation that doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't arrive with raised voices or dramatic confrontation. It comes quietly, dressed in a blazer, holding a glass of wine, smiling at you while it happens, and the worst part is you're supposed to smile back. I'm Adrian, I'm 27, and this is about a Tuesday evening in December that I haven't stopped thinking about since. Let me tell you where I work first. Harlow Sutton is a mid-size marketing consultancy, 31 employees, open floor plan, the kind of office that has a ping pong table nobody uses and a snack wall that gets restocked every Monday, and a company culture that describes itself as a family in the employee handbook. I have worked there for 2 years. I am one of 3 black employees in the entire building. I want to say that plainly because it matters to what happened. Not as an accusation, just as context that I'm asking you to hold while you read the rest of this. My boss is a man named Howard. He's 52, silver-haired, one of those people who fills a room with his confidence the way certain aftershaves fill an elevator, completely and without asking permission. Howard is not a bad man in any simple definition of the term. He is, however, a man who has moved through his entire professional life without ever being required to be precise about people who look like me. The holiday party was at a rooftop venue downtown. Nice place, open bar, catered food, string lights, the whole production. I arrived in a suit I had specifically purchased for professional events because I understand, perhaps more than some of my colleagues do, that how I present myself in rooms like that carries weight. I was talking to a colleague near the bar when Howard materialized with a client beside him. The client's name was Frank. I found this out later. Important account, the kind of client Howard performs his best version of himself for. Howard put his hand on my shoulder with the easy confidence of a man who has never questioned his right to touch people. He said, "Hey, Frank, I want you to meet one of our rising stars." He paused for half a second and then said, "My coworker's name, not my name, my coworker Brendan's name." Brendan, who is also in his 20s, also in marketing, and is white. I stood there. Frank extended his hand and said, "Brendan, great to meet you." I shook his hand because what else do you do in that specific suspended moment? My mouth said something polite. My brain was doing something entirely different. Howard caught himself approximately 4 seconds later. He laughed. That particular laugh, the social lubricant laugh, the laugh designed to dissolve awkwardness rather than address it. He said, "Ha, sorry, I mixed you two up. This is Adrian." Then he moved the conversation forward immediately, the way people do when they want an incident to become a non-incident through sheer momentum. Frank moved on pleasantly. Howard moved on pleasantly. The conversation shifted to something about Q1 projections. I stood there and finished the interaction with my professional face completely intact. Then I went to the bathroom and stood at the sink with the water running and looked at myself in the mirror for a long moment. Brendan and I work in different departments. Brendan is several inches taller than me. Brendan and I share almost no physical characteristics beyond age and gender. We are not interchangeable in any logistical sense. The only coordinates we share in Howard's mental map apparently are young, male, and works for me. I know what some people will say. Honest mistake. It happens. Don't make it something it isn't. And maybe those people are right about Howard's intention. I genuinely cannot climb inside the man's head and extract a verdict. What I can tell you is what it felt like to stand in a room full of colleagues and clients and have the person responsible for my career advancement not know my name well enough to say it correctly. What I can tell you is that I have been at Harlow Sutton for 2 years. I have closed 3 major accounts. I have my name on presentations that Howard has delivered to the board. He laughed it off in 4 seconds. I started quietly updating my resume the following week. Not dramatically, not in anger, just with the calm clarity of someone who has received important information and decided to act on it responsibly. 3 months later, I accepted a position at a different firm. More money, better title. My new manager learned my name before I started. She used it correctly and consistently from day one, like it was the easiest thing in the world. Because it is. It always was.